We went over the rules in the dressing room. I want to remind you, obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. God bless you both. Touch up.
Manny, the reigning champ, takes on the 4-division world champion, Adrien Broner. 8-division world champion. The history of this guy is something else. Manny Pacquiao, the lovable senator from the Philippines. And in this case, the bad boy, but a good guy.
Relax. Relax.
All right, so here we go. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled for the WBA Welterweight Championship of the World. Manny Pacquiao, the southpaw, in the black trunks. Notice the size of his calves. That's where he generates all the power. He's got the socks pulled up kind of high, so maybe you can't see, but it's very noticeable here at ringside that Manny is very, very fast and that he has very powerful legs, and that's where he generates power. As nice as Manny is, when he steps into the ring, he is some kind of tough. Those 4 fights with one Manuel Marquez was something else. The fights with Tim Bradley, something else. And he wants to make a statement here early with Broner that his speed has more to do than Broner's power. Pacquiao to the right of your screen, the southpaw. Both men in magnificent condition, but Manny is 40 years old. And you always wonder if this is going to be the night that he shows his age. We're only in round 1, but he looks pretty spry to me right now. So far, Broner hasn't been able to touch him. Manny bobs, he weaves, he moves back and forth. The hands are up, the hands are down. He jabs with the right hand. Broner's trying to get that right hand down in the middle to hit Manny with some power, but Manny, as quick as his hands are, so too are his feet.
Watch your heads, watch your heads.
And even though people thought he was starting to show his age against Jeff Horn, the fact of the matter is that the heat and the very difficult, I think it was around the 7th round that Jeff Horn was really beaten up badly. It was in the late rounds anyway, but in that heat, Manny kind of collapsed after that. Not collapsed, but just slowed down so much that Jeff was able to, outlast him. But that was in tremendous heat in Brisbane. This is inside, air-conditioned comfort in the desert. It's only about 60 degrees outside here in Las Vegas anyway, but it's very comfortable always inside in Las Vegas. So far, Broner hasn't been able to touch him up at all with 30 seconds to go. Gotta watch those front feet when we have our wide shot, because that's what happens when you have an orthodox fighter like Broner and a southpaw like Manny Pacquiao fighting each other. They're working for positioning, constantly trying to get the front foot to the outside of the opponent. So Manny's learning just which way to bob, weave, and feint. And Adrien ties him up. Russell Mora has to separate the two and warns Manny about watching the heads. Manny, the way he comes in, if he comes all the way in, especially with being a little bit shorter, there's always a danger of cuts.
No.
And Adrien pushing back, and Russell admonishes him for that. Then he touches hands with Manny, ever the gentleman. But this is Broner's style. He tries to intimidate. He both inside and outside the ring. You see him stepping on top of Manny's foot. But that happens. Manny's landing the punch. Broner ducks and gets away. Adrien skips away again, resets himself. See, Adrian's not throwing his jab properly right now. He's standing flat-footed and sticking it out and sticking it out. And he's got the wide stance. When they loosen up the picture, you'll see. You see it right now? He's got a very wide stance. See that right there? And then he can drive off that back foot and make his jab really into a punch. But Manny's hands are so fast that he counters it. And this is what Manny has done. And of course, Manny being the popular guy, it's going to be very easy because the crowd gets so excited anytime Manny does anything. It's going to be hard for the judges Tim Cheatham from Nevada, Dave Moretti from Nevada, and Glenn Feldman from Connecticut. I always hear those names. Almost got that right hand through to Manny. Adrian's not taking advantage again of driving off that back foot. And he just shooting that jab out there when he could get a lot more power behind it. Look at that, the counter punching at Pacquiao.
Let him go. Let go.
Adrien pushes him down, tries to tie him up, walks behind the ref, and now here we go again. Adrien is going to start getting that right hand unleashed and start throwing some shots right down the middle of this southpaw. Manny would just box him like this all night. Manny's not landing real powerful shots, but he's landing more shots than Adrien. Even though a lot of them are shoe-shine punches and some of them are popped and blocked, it certainly captured the eye of the judges. Manny's last fight was a great uppercut that he landed when he dropped Lucas Matisse. And in April, a majority draw for Adrien Broner when he fought Jesse Vargas in Brooklyn. That was his only fight last year. So he wants to up his profile, and this fight will certainly do it if he can beat Manny Pacquiao. There he got his right hand through that time, did Adrien. And again, but that one didn't quite make the target. Manny's so quick pulling out and slipping punches. For all the talk of Broner, he really hasn't got as aggressive as I thought he'd be in the early going. And Manny very, very fast with those hands. Manny caught him again coming in. Broner cuts loose with the right hand, misses, and then misses with the hook. Tries to catch Manny coming in with an uppercut. And Broner's got a good uppercut, by the way. He can drop guys with uppercuts. That's something Manny's got to be careful about when he goes in. Make sure he's throwing punches. Manny doesn't care whether they're going to land or not. He throws at shoulders, he throws at the chest, and hopes to wear down. See, that time he nipped him right on the chin. Manny's so quick in and out. He's like, you know, like a rattlesnake attacking him down with his hands. Catches him. He didn't hurt Broner. Broner was pulling away and bending over at the same time. Although the crowd, you know, most of the crowd really can't see what's going on. And at least half the crowd is watching it on the monitor because they have a better view than if they're seated more than a few rows up in the grandstand area here. But anytime Manny does anything that even looks like he's touching Broner, the crowd reacts. So we'll try not to be influenced by that and give you a fair call. And now on the assault again. Not a lot of damage done to Adrien. Adrien missed with that right hand. Manny seems to be doing a better job than Adrien working to keep his foot on the outside when he comes in. The outside of the outstretched left leg of Adrien Broner, who has kind of a wide stance. Shorten up the stance just a little bit, which usually means he's going to go on the assault. When he has a real wide stance, he's all right now to throw the right hand. Let's see if he does. Yeah, he lets it go. But when his stance is really wide, he can't throw the right hand with any power. And he shouldn't turn his back on this guy. Broner can be dangerous. This is the feints by Manny that make Broner move into shots and trying to move him on that left hand and draw him to it. And he's rolling the head around, moving it back and forth. This is real good stuff. It makes it hard for Broner to land. Broner doesn't have that same head movement that Manny Pacquiao has. This is round number 5. I've got a 37 for Broner, 39 for Manny. I gave Broner the last round. Close round. Judges could be split on that. Broner lands, but Broner is landing more punches now to the chin of Manny than he did in the first couple of rounds. That's for sure. He's fighting better. He's so quick.
Stop! Let go.
You know, at 40 years old, the quickness is still there. That's conditioning. That's clean living. He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. And he doesn't put on a lot of weight in between fights. This is round number 5. Almost to the halfway point, and this round's up for grabs. And there's the chant going up, trying to juice up Manny a little bit. Manny, Manny, Manny. Broner doing a nice job defensively in this round, but he's got to get more offense together. There it is, a good straight right hand by Adrien Broner. Broner has a tendency to want to use that inside of his forearm to push Manny away, and he's been admonished a couple of times by referee Russ Moore. Good body shot by Manny that time with the left hand, and that's his power shot downstairs. These guys are so well conditioned. They both have washboard stomachs. And he was able to land that left hand upstairs. Didn't do any damage. There's some hand speed there by Adrien Broner. Broner missed the left hand and just caught the whiskers of Manny with the right hand. Manny's got the hands up. He jabs out a couple of times. This particular point, Manny looks like he slowed down just a hair. And as I say that, look at the hand speed there. And he slows down and then he picks it up at will. The champ was Keith Thurman, and then he got injured, and Keith is coming back, and he's been out of action for a while. He's coming back, but Manny is the reigning WBA welterweight champ. The other champions, by the way, Terrence Crawford, WBO champ, Errol Spence Jr., the IBF champ, and Sean Porter holds the WBC title. So this is a very good division. And he clipped him pretty good with that shot there. They tie up. Now, this is a stage in the fight that you got to watch Manny Pacquiao at this age. You know, is he going to slow down any? I thought he slowed down just a bit in the last round, although I thought he won the round. Because Manny's kind of pot-shotting this guy and just catching him with more shots than Adrien's catching him with. Broner took a deep breath. It looks like he lost his concentration for just a second. There's something that Kevin Cunningham won't want him to do. He's got to turn it up right now. Don't let Manny just tap, tap, tap like this. This is when Broner's got to close the gap and cut loose with the right hand. Manny's right in front of him now. He's not moving his head. Now he's back up on his toes, and so he lets the right hand go. That's the right thing to do. Broner clipped him with a left hook that time. As busy as Manny hands are, he hasn't landed a lot of punches in this round with 53 seconds to go. Manny just touching him and touching him. Adrien has actually landed more significant blows. And then he caught him with a nice left hand, but anything that he does, the crowd goes nuts with it. Good by Adrien. Adrien takes a shot downstairs, no damage done. Manny touches him up a couple of times, fairly low, but not illegal. It's a tough round to score. But in that fight, Manny had one sensational round, and then after that, he began to wilt a little bit, in my opinion, and that's how he lost the fight.
Madlock na siya, basta musunod pa, madlock siya. Ayaw mag-target. Galaw uno.
Looping left hand scored by Manny Pacquiao. He's on the assault now. He's chasing Broner down. Broner turns his back on him for just a second, steps to his right. Manny on the assault again, and this is why Manny can steal rounds on the judges' scorecards. Here in the United States, he's so popular. And the other situation is that Adrien Broner is a guy that people love to hate, kind of like Floyd Mayweather at some times. As Broner comes in. This is tough stuff in this round. Manny on his toes, does a little bit of feint. Adrian's got to get a whole lot more offensive minded. I mean, that's what Kevin Cunningham wants him to do. But look at Manny. Time he caught him, he's a hard punches, a couple of them, and finally Adrien has to hang on. He might have been hurt just when you see a guy hang on like that. He hasn't lost any strength, but he certainly felt the power of Manny. Manny's nailing him with shots now. The uppercut. He's on the assault. No punches back from Broner. 27, 26 seconds to go. And Broner looks like he's out on his feet. A couple of those punches must have landed harder than I thought. He might be ready to go. Manny goes to work on him, but Broner hangs on. 15 seconds to go. 14, 13, 12 seconds to go in this round. And, when he was younger, he'd have a round like that, and he'd come right back and have another round like that. He doesn't do that as much now since he's been about 38 years old or so. But Broner's not doing hardly anything offensively. He's only caught Manny, I would say, 3 times definitively. That there's a nice, what I call sneaky right hand that time, although it's landed on the left cheek of Manny, which is beginning to pop up a little bit. So he's landed that punch quite a few times in the course of the fight. But Manny just seems to be landing so many more punches. But you can't really use the punch stat in this case because Manny throws a ton of punches, and a lot of them are like shoeshine sort of punches, and they're real exciting, but they don't do any damage. They have to take the amount of punches that he throws sometimes with a grain of salt. But in this fight, he's controlling it. There was a hard hooking right hand that time. Southpaw jabs with the right hand, but Adrien has got to get that right hand down the middle to stop the assault of Manny Pacquiao, because for the first 2 minutes in this round, Manny has outboxed it. I mean, this is nothing like the last round, but it's going to count just as much if he wins at 10-9. Adrien still shows plenty of snap with his left hand, but he's not hitting Manny. It's the right hand he's got to get through. That's the one he's got to get through. But Manny's so quick where he turns in that right shoulder and he snaps out of it. It's hard to hit him with the right hand. So the way to beat a southpaw is get the straight right hand down the middle. In order to do that, you got to be moving to your left, not to your right. So he circles back to his left this time, and that way he set up his right hand, but he didn't land it. Talking about Broner now. Broner slides around to the right. He needs to be going left to land up his right hand if he wants to. I got Manny Pacquiao out in front by about 4 points right now. There have been some close rounds, so it might be a little closer than that. But I thought that Manny in his boxing has dominated boxing in the round. In the fight. Manny's best round was the 7th round, where he had a really terrific round. And And other than that, the rounds have been a little bit closer, with Manny just eking them out with accumulation of punches. Manny lands that. No real damage done, but you get the idea. And this is how you steal rounds on the judges' scorecards. And now look at this. He pulls his leg, but Russell Moore is right in there. And he shakes him off again. Crowd boos, as you would expect, as Adrien is the guy that they love to hate. And he thinks that's good because he thinks that's how, you know, he'll be able to get more pay-per-views and more attention by being at least playing the role of the bad boy. And Manny's never done that in his career. He's always been a sweetheart of a guy inside and outside the ring. He's lethal in the ring, but at least the sweetheart of a guy outside the ring. Ninth round here at the MGM Grand. I got Pacquiao up in front of this fight. Broner just got to throw more right hands. More right hands. Former heavyweight champ Joe Parker is watching down in New Zealand. Joe, this is what I do when you're fighting. I said, you got to throw more hands. So watch Broner. There's a left hook, hits him, and he goes back on his heels. There he is. Gets clipped again. This becomes another really good round. Look at this. Manny's putting a hurt on him right there in the corner. Broner may be hurt just a bit. Manny on the assault. Touches him up. Slinging left hand. Remember, the left hand for Manny Pacquiao is his power hand. Broner's legs don't look great to me right now. Even though I know he's in great physical condition, his legs don't look really good. He looks a little bit loose in the knee, a little bit heavy in the foot. And Manny, with all that power, with those huge calves that he has, just generates power. So quick. Broner's legs look like they're back now to me. Manny not on the assault, and Broner not throwing enough right hands. Manny on the assault because of the lack of the right hand. I mean, he's throwing so few right hands. I wonder if he hurt his right hand. He's just not throwing enough right hands at all. I hate to belabor the fact, but it's a big part of this fight. When you're fighting a southpaw and you don't throw the right hand down the middle, it makes me think you got a problem with your right hand. I mean, he throws that right hand and turns the knuckles over like no power with it. Meanwhile, Manny clips him hard with a hooking right hand, and it is a kind of a hooking motion. Ordinarily, you think in terms of a left being a left hook, but not when you're a southpaw fighter. It's the right hand that you can hook with as well as you can jab. Manny just tries to keep pressure on him. There's a little less than a minute to go in this, the 10th round. There's the right hand. He finally got it off, but not enough. I just see him throw like 4 or 5 straight right hands in a row. Really make this into a fight. Because right now I get Manny creeping ahead comfortably in this fight. There you go with the right hand for Adrien. Well, Manny's got to stay focused and concentrating. But in terms of, you know, particularly think you're looking at a 40-year-old man right now. And that's because of the extraordinary ability of Manny Pacquiao and the fact that he lives clean and trains so hard. This is a terrific performance for a 40-year-old guy. But then again, you know, he's one of the best fighters of all time. 8th division world champion. A sure first ballot Hall of Fame. Manny gives that little bicycle trot over to his left to get in line. But he's not throwing as many punches as he was. But Broner's not landing much either. Broner's got to throw the right hand. I want to see this a battle right to the end. Manny just outboxing him, pot shotting him. Not enough offense by Adrien Broner. And in reality, that's been the difference in the fight, because none of the rounds have been huge for Manny, but he's just outboxed him. Manny with a soft touch downstairs. No specific hand speed right now, but he certainly has the foot speed. He loads up with that left-hand power shot, kind of a hooking shot. Broner's just not offensive-minded enough. And Kevin's right. Manny's there to land that right hand, but you cannot throw it multiple times. Around to his right. Manny clips him with the right hand again. Nothing power. And Manny says you got to keep him up, and so does Russell Mora. And fellas are keeping track in total punches in the fight. And it goes back to what I've been saying is a solid right hand lands. Frank Belmont just told me that Manny Pacquiao through 11 rounds has landed 109 punches as opposed to the 49 of Broner. That'll tell you that everything I've been telling you is true. He's not landing his shots. And again, you know, don't forget that Manny throws a lot of shoe shine punches, so you'd expect him to be high in the amount of punches that he lands. But Broner hasn't landed, but I can only think of 3, maybe 4 really solid punches in the fight. Manny's landed many, many more of those, including that one. No big deal, but still big enough to catch the eyes of the judges. "32 seconds to go. 30 seconds to go in this fight. It's been an interesting boxing match, but the 40-year-old 8-time world champion in 8 divisions has prevailed as far as I can see in this fight totally. In a nice fight. Now we're inside of 15 seconds. Broner just not offensive enough. I don't think he threw one right hand in this round. For a guy that really needed to show some urgency, he hasn't shown any urgency. Manny trying to attack and land one last thing, and that's it. It's all over. And Broner did absolutely nothing in the 12th round in terms of urgency. I've got it 119 to 110 in favor of Manny Pacquiao. We'll see how Tim Cheatham, Ben Feldman, and Dave Moretti have it scored, but I'm quite convinced that Manny Pacquiao has done it. Look at Jenkins. Pacquiao's corner. Boo Boy certainly thinks he's won the fight. I think he's won the fight.
Thank you very much.
And we'll see what the judges have to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards. We have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Dave Moretti scores the bout 117 to 111. Judges Glenn Feldman and Tim Cheatham both score the bout 116 to 112. All three in favor of the winner. And still WBA welterweight champion of the world, Manny